Baltimore, you understand? Y'all about to do shot the y'all Shema done by Shini of Shah. You understand? We are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. And we start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. If it's not under Commanding General Yohana, it's not the truth, you understand? And we've been bringing this truth out since 1969, that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Jews of the Bible, you understand?
Right.
And that our oppressor, the colonizer, the so-called white man, is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Like, here it is, man. We just celebrated a awesome Passover.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? Like a Passover in which, like, this was our 53rd annual Passover. You feel me? And this Passover was so special, man, because you see, like, if you have not had a chance to observe the Passover with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, like, it's something that you're missing out on, man. You understand? Like, you've never seen brothers come from all over the globe, man. You understand? Like, brothers come from different walks of life. Brothers who would normally be enemies in the world, who will kill each other in the world, come together, man, and it's nothing but love and brotherhood. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Sisters who would fight and kill each other in the world come together, man, and put their differences aside. You understand? To celebrate the Lord. Like, it was absolutely glorious Passover, man, for this year. And I just feel like we need to build on that energy. Like, what we just experienced was the kingdom of God here on earth for blacks, Latinos, and Hispanics right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, I can't, you know, down there, I remember sitting there just thinking, like, what if this was our daily life, you understand?
Yeah. Where
the kids can run free, you ain't gotta worry about your kids getting hurt, nobody snatching them, nobody, no child being abused. You understand? Like, no one's hungry. Like, everybody's in the right spirit. You understand? Sisters in the right spirit, brothers in the right spirit. Like, imagine us as a nation, as an entire nation, with that vibe every single day, man. You understand? Like, it's one of those things where you damn near want the Passover every single day, man. You see what I'm saying? Like to come back, you know, understand, we gotta complete this work. And we gotta continue to do this work, man. But coming back, it's like you can really feel the energy shift. You see what I'm saying? You can feel the energy shift from being around brothers and sisters in the right spirit and building and having that brotherhood, you understand? And then you come back and you just see the treacherous world that we're a part of, you understand? Because of our oppressor, man. And this is why we gotta continue this work, and this is why we gotta fight hard for this truth, man.
Right.
You understand? Like, we don't realize that we have enemies out here.
Yes, sir.
Like, as a nation of people, we think that we can serve the Lord all peacefully. You know, we can serve the Lord and everything's going to be sweet. Everyone's going to get along. That's not the God of the Bible, man. Like, the God of the Bible tells us that we got enemies. He shows us that we have enemies, man. And by us realizing that we have enemies, we got to fight harder to protect and forge this, build a wall around our nation. You feel me? And that wall is the protection of the Most High, and that we only going to get that by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man.
Right.
You understand? So we just celebrated the Passover, in which the Most High slaughtered the firstborn son, the firstborn male of man and beast. You understand? Of our enemies. Like, we just celebrated that. But here's the thing, we just celebrated the Most High destroying our enemies, but yet we still going to try to seek peace with them. Like, we still want to seek peace with the people that's killing us, man. We still want to seek peace with the people that's putting us against each other, the people that's causing us to hate each other. Like, we're going to get into some scriptures today, and we're going to reveal who our enemy really is, man. And we're going to see that our enemy, like, a lot of people say, well, you know, they always act like, the one question, if you and I should be, the one question we've all gotten is, why do y'all hate white people? You know, but the question should be, why does he hate us? You see what I'm saying? Like, we have done nothing to him. All we want is justice for the crimes that's been committed against our people, just like anybody else. Like, no one's mad at the color white. No one's mad at their red skin when they get mad. No one's mad at none of that. No one hates none of that. However, we do hate the fact that our people die.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Our
sir.
people get murdered. Our people
Yes,
get raped.
sir.
Our people get molested. You understand? Like, we do hate that. You understand? And it's our enemies that's doing it, man. But when we speak of enemies, the first thing that comes in our mind, like if I say, who's your enemy? The first thing that we think is another black man. Is another sister. You understand? And when I say black, I'm talking about all the tribes. Blacks, blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Like, when we think of enemy, we think of each other. You understand? But we have an enemy that's destroying both of us, man. A black man should never be an enemy to another black man. A sister should not be an enemy to another sister. Like, the Most High done gave us rules and gave us laws on how to work our issues out, man. You understand? We're going to get into that too. I mean, but we got to first stop trying to seek the peace with the enemy that's destroying us, man, and causing us to sin against our God. Let's hop into Deuteronomy 28:1 first. We're gonna get some more. We're gonna get some in the scripture real quick.
Okay.
Deuteronomy 28:1. And that shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, that the Lord thy God and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which he command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
Like right here, like this is an important scripture right here, because it says it's going to come to pass, meaning like these things will happen. You understand? Like this will take place. Like it's going to come to pass. They say if thou shalt hearken diligently, meaning like if you should listen closely, man. Like here, listen closely to what the Most High is telling us, man. Unto the voice of the Lord thy God. They say to observe and to do all his commandments, man. Like the Christian church have taught us to do some of God, like to follow some laws. You know, one of the laws is the only law that they really tell us to keep is tithing. Outside of that, the Christian church don't tell you you don't have to keep no law. Mm-hmm. It's done away with. You understand? Like the Christian church teaches us to be evil towards the Most High, man. He makes us enemies to the Lord. You understand? Like the scripture is telling us, if we listen to the voice of the Most High, to observe and to do all his commandments, which he's commanding us this day, man. Like this when they say this day, like when they say which I command thee this day, this is talking about today. This is not talking about 1,000 years ago. You understand? This ain't talking about 500 years ago. This is talking about right now. Like if we hearing this, man, and the Lord and you can hear the broadcast, this broadcast. You understand? The Most High is talking to us right now.
Yeah.
You understand? On
Right.
this day,
Yes, sir.
if we observe to do his commandments, man, the Most High just said he's going to set us on high above all nations on the face of the earth, man. Now, what does that mean? Like, here it is, we stay fighting for equality. We stay fighting to be equal to another nation, you understand? We stay fighting to be included in their system. The Most High said, no, man, I want more for you. He said, I'm going to set you on high above all these other nations, man. That means that these other nations are going to have to answer to us. That means that they're going to have to do what we tell them to do. That means that there's a hierarchy which the Most High has established, man. And right now, we're not on high because we're not doing what the Most High just told us to do. Like we supposed to be the ones in the courthouses. Like when it's a dispute or a matter that need to be judged, we supposed to be the ones judging. We supposed to be providing or telling this nation, this is what you're going to do, this is how much you're going to get, this is what we supposed to be the ones establishing law, the Most High's law on this earth right now, man. But because we forsake the Most High, His laws, man, because we've been taught to do this by our leaders. Listen, we not on high right now. The Most High is not interested in equality, man. The Most High is interested in supremacy, man. Black supremacy. Most High does not want the black man to be a footstool to no nation, man. We are to be equal to no nation out here. We are to be above every nation on the face of the earth. That's the Most High's word. You understand? The Most High is not interested in equality. He's not interested in us being, just going along to get along. He's not interested in that, man. He said, man, you follow me and you keep my law, statutes, and commandments, I'm going to put you on high above all these other nations. You understand? If I could you drop that, go down a little further, Brother Kashar, Deuteronomy 28 and 48, Brother Kashar. We're going to get some more of these scriptures, man, because the Most High is going to reveal to us who our enemies are, man, and why they're our enemies. Like a lot of times people get mad at the fact that we say that other nations are our enemies. The Lord is telling us this. The Lord is the one who's revealing who our enemies are and why they're our enemies and what they've done to us in times past and continue to do to us today, man. And why they must be punished. But we're going to get that in the scripture. You got that, Brother Kashar?
Deuteronomy 28 and 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
It is, man. We do not, when we just read in Deuteronomy 28 and 1, where the Most High said that to keep my laws, that keep all of my commandments and to do them, we did not do that.
Right.
You understand? We did not follow what the Most High told us to do. And because of that, the Lord said, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Most High shall send against thee. You understand? The Most High sent the so-called white man, our colonizer, our oppressor against us, man. Because we disobeyed his orders. Because we disobeyed his commandments, man. You understand? And because we disobeyed, now he sent an enemy, you understand, to be over top of us, man. He did not say that he sent our friend. He sent our brother. He sent our equal. The Most High just said, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which he shall send against thee. You keep going, Brother Sure.
And hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Like this is blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans all day, man. Like we hunger and we thirst, we naked, man. We exposed out here, you understand? And in want of all things, like we don't have nothing of our own, man. Like we gotta go to the oppressor to get toilet paper. Like you don't see no black, you don't see no black-owned toilet paper companies.
Yeah.
We gotta go to
Sir.
the so-called white man to get clean water.
Yes, sir.
Like they selling oxygen now. You see what I'm saying? Like we gotta go and depend on these people for every single thing that we need to live and survive, man. This is a curse from the Lord, man. You know what I mean? But we gotta keep in mind that these people that we going to, that we have to go through to get these things, these are our enemies, man. These are not our brothers. These are not our friends. You understand? Like the only reason we are over here to serve out a punishment, man. You know what I mean? So all the marching and all the, riding and trying to, be heard and voting,
Yes.
none of that matters. It's against God, man. We're here to serve out a punishment, man. And the thing is, if we don't come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, we're going to continue to serve our enemy, man. You keep on looking, Sean.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he has destroyed thee.
And he shall put a yoke of iron on our neck, man. Like you've seen the pictures of slavery where they had the actual yokes of iron on our neck. You feel me? As we worked. and as he beat us and raped us. You understand? But we still got that same yoke of iron around our neck right now, man. Like most of us got to work 60 to 70 hour weeks, man, just to live. You understand? And you don't have time to be with your family.
Yes.
You don't have time to like. That's why this job is so hard right here. You understand? Like to serve the Lord and do the Lord's work. You feel me? It ain't for the weak. I mean, you gotta have a zeal to you. You gotta have that extra gear. You understand? Because if you don't, you're gonna fold. You understand? You gotta work 60 hours a week. Then you gotta come and teach, and then you gotta go stand in the corner, you know, and teach the Lord's and teach the Lord's people. And they reject you, and they say y'all crazy. You understand? Like, you gotta have a zeal to do this work, man. Like, it's a yoke of iron upon our neck right now. Keep going. Go for sure.
49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Hey, listen, now we should start kind of like really realizing that this ain't talking about each other, man. We not each other's enemies.
Right.
This nation that was going against us, like, the Lord breaks it down to the national bird, man. If you look at every so-called white nation, you understand, Edomite nation, whether it's France, whether it's Europe, America, you understand, that one national bird that all of them have is that eagle, man. You understand? The Most High say, you know, the Most High shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. You understand? Like, we did not speak English when we came over here, man. We had, like, the English language was beat into us. You understand? Like, if you look at them Gadites, man, the North American Indians.
Yes, sir.
You understand? Like,
Yeah.
their hair was cut, and they were forced to speak English, man. They could not speak their native tongue of Hebrew. We did not understand this language, man. Now this is the only language. Like this is for a lot of us. This is the main language that we understand, man. And we don't know our own tongue. You understand? Like we read Hebrew, and people like, man, y'all don't need that. Which I mean, it's no purpose in speaking Hebrew. Like we speak the oppressor's language and speak his tongue. To the point where as though we don't even feel the need to speak our own, man. You understand? That's being under a true oppressor. You understand? That's being under the foot of a real enemy, man. Where you don't even want to associate with your own culture.
That's not.
You understand? Out of fear of being an enemy to people who are already our enemies, man. You keep going, brother, for sure.
Deuteronomy 28 and 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Like, and this is so heavy too, man, because here it is. When you see a older person of any nation, you know, I know for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we always had we compassionate people. You understand? So you see an old person, you generally try to show respect. You see a young person, you try to help them out, try to guide them. You see what I'm saying? Here it is to say that they will not show respect to our old nor our young. Listen, we done had incidents in Baltimore where the police been kicked in grandma's door, you know, lady about 70, 80 years old. You understand? And they done pulled her by her, you know, pulled her, she had a duster on, and they done pulled her out the house, you understand? With cuffs on, while she's screaming and hollering. They don't care about our old man. I don't know how many countless cases we have of the police, you know, shooting our young boys down, man. And when I say young, I'm talking about young, man. 8, 9, 10 years old. You see what I'm saying? It was a video just surfaced less than a year ago, where the police, the little girl was acting up in school. She had to be about 6 or 7. And the school called the police on the little girl. On a 6 or 7-year-old girl. You know what the police came and did? The police came and put the handcuffs on this little girl, man. put handcuffs on her and put her in the back of the police car, man. Like, they don't show no favor to our old or our young, man. This is a real enemy that we're under, man. That we trying to be compassionate with, that we trying to understand, that we trying to build with, you understand? Like, that's the psychological damage that we have. We feel like the people that's killing us, as long as we get in line and we try to be good Negroes, and we try to be, you know, we try to fit in and try to understand their culture, we feel like we're going to be accepted amongst them. Listen, got news for you, we not. You understand? The only way that you're going to get out of the danger of being under this oppression is by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man.
Yep.
Outside of that, you know, you trying to talk like them, you trying to act like them, trying to walk and dress like them. You see what I'm saying? Like trying to live amongst them. At the end of the day, that means absolutely nothing, man. You understand? He's still going to destroy us. And whether you know, they always say, well, get educated. You know, we've got to educate ourselves, and financial literacy, but those things are important. But unfortunately, our people, we get educated and we think we better than each other. We get educated and we want to impress them by demeaning each other. You see what I'm saying? And all they look at it is like, you know, you got a dumb Negro and you got a smart Negro. That's how they view us, man. But at the end of the day, we're both Negroes. You understand? Like, they do not show no compassion for us, man. But yet we still try to fit in with them. Can you keep going about the show?
51. And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep.
And he's going to take everything, man. Like the North America, they say the buffalo was running wild all across North America, man.
Until he had destroyed thee.
You understand? Like the buffalo was running wild. I heard a story like it was something wild, like from the Midwest all the way down to down south. Like you can actually get on the back of a buffalo, man, never touch the ground. That's how many animals that we had. You feel me? Like we're agricultural people.
Yes, yes.
Like blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we've been in the conditions we've been in, and we live in inner cities, and we around nothing but concrete all the time. The concrete jungle is what they call it.
That's
you feel
right.
me?
That's
So
right.
because we're around that all the time, we don't understand that we are agricultural people, man. We are people who like to grow things. You understand? Grow, fruits and vegetables, and have livestock and animals and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's our culture. They said that this oppressor, man, this enemy of ours, say he gonna come and he gonna wipe all that out, man. He gonna take all of it up. He ain't gonna give us nothing that we can feed on. One of the laws is when you harvest, you're supposed to leave something to glean for the less fortunate to come through and that they can eat and support themselves. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like this oppressor don't leave nothing. I mean, he done took all the grapes, he done took all the corn, he done took all the livestock, all the animals, you see what I'm saying? Like, he don't leave nothing, man. You understand? And he not only did he take it, you understand, but he'll use it as a trophy. He'll cut an animal's head off and just stick it on the wall, you understand, for no
Yeah.
apparent reason. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the diabolical beast that we're under, man, that we're trying to fit in with. You understand? A lot of people, when it comes to blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, a lot of people always, when it comes to blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are all one. You see what I'm saying? Like, no one differentiates between us, as they shouldn't. You understand? Because we are one nation. But when it comes to this oppressor, man, people want to separate and differentiate, you understand, and individualize our oppressor. Well, you have some of them that's bad, but then you have some that's good. You understand? Like, you have 99 horrible ones, but you have one good one. You understand? Like, we like to separate when it comes to our oppressor and make excuses for them. We like to make excuses for them because really deep down inside we want to be on the good side of them, you understand?
Yes,
Because
sir.
we see them running the earth. And we feel like if we hold this oppressor accountable for all of the things that he's done, somehow we feel like we're going to be punished and penalized because of it. You understand? Listen, we got to come out of that spirit. That's not the spirit of the Lord, man. The same way we are judged as one nation, these people are going to be judged as one nation, you understand? The same way blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we had to go through this hell and this slavery and this persecution, you understand? It's the same way that when their time comes, they got to go through it as well, man. They can't escape that. You know, I think it came out that, you know, Joe Biden said he was marching for the, the right, marching for civil rights, you know. Came out it was a lie, you know, but nevertheless, at the end of the day, you got some black people who feel like, well, Joe Biden's for the struggle. You see what I'm saying? Joe Biden could be for anything. He could be for the struggle, whatever he want to be for, you understand? But when the Most High comes to punish his people, Joe Biden is going to get punished with them.
Yes, sir.
You understand? He's not going to get a pass because he say he walked in silver. Like, that's the spirit of Esau, man. Like, that's the spirit of Esau. He say one thing, you understand, but he want different. He say one thing, it means something else. You understand? Like, just to sidetrack one brief moment, you know, when a lot of people always get on Jacob. A lot of people always get on Jacob and say, well, Jacob lied and he got that birthright. Listen, Esau sold his birthright, man. Esau sold his birthright. You understand? He sold it for some undone suit. You understand? Like, he sold that birthright. But then when it came time for the birthright to be given, he cried and he whined and he mourned. I mean, like a coward, man.
Yes.
You understand? You made a deal. You made a deal and already you already reaped the benefits of what you of the deal that you made. But now you want to discontinue. You want the deal to be null and void now because you got what you want, but now you want to get what someone else has as well. You understand? And unfortunately, it does not work like that with the Most High, man. The so-called white man is going to be punished by the Lord, each and every one of them, man, for the atrocities that they've committed against blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. It's like I said, if you could, let's see. We'll drop down to verse 68 though, for sure. Mind you, this coming straight out the Bible, man. The Lord is the one that's revealing who our true enemies are, man.
All right.
I mean, this is not us putting a spin on the Bible, or you understand how they would say, you know, to each his own. You know, the Lord spoke to me, and everybody got their own interpretation. No, that's not accurate. That's not biblical. You understand?
Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
It's saying the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. You understand? Like Egypt Egypt means bondage according to the Bible, man. You understand? Like a lot of people, you know, you have a lot of people say, you know, well, this wasn't the first slavery. All nations have been in bondage, yada yada, this, that, and the third. The Lord is saying, the Lord Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. It's very important. You understand? Because a lot of these nations that were enslaved, like, yeah, these Hamite nations, like, they always try to make it seem like Africa is so united.
Right.
Africa is not united, man. There's over 50 countries in Africa. And they go to war with each other, man. And they enslave and kill each other. The Lord said, I'm going to bring you into bondage again with ships, man. Like we were actually brought into bondage by ships, meaning we was taken from one place, put on boats, and sent somewhere else, man. This is the transatlantic and the trans-Saharan slave trades, man. You understand? Like this is what we speaking of. Keep going, Brother Bishop.
By the way whereof I spake unto you, thou shalt see it no more again.
Right, it say, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, meaning, like we was in our land at this time when we got this prophecy, you understand? You understand? We were in Israel. Lord said, land, this land that you in right now, listen, you ain't gonna see it again, man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not saying that you can't get on a plane and fly over to the Middle East and Israel and stuff like that and see our homeland. But at the end of the day, we're not the governing body there, you understand? We're not the ruling class there. Like if you go to Israel right now, you will be damn near a fourth-class citizen over there, man. Yes, like our sons will have to fight the wars, you understand, in order to be considered a what they call it? They have citizenship there. You understand? That's not our land. Like we don't. The Most High say we ain't gonna see that land again, man. Even though it's our land, that's how you know that the people over there right now is not the real people. Because of this scripture, the Lord is telling us we ain't gonna see it again.
That's right.
You understand? So the people that's there right now goes against this biblical prophecy right here. You understand? Like, we keep going, Brother Bishop.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies,
Unto your friends,
unto your enemies,
unto your brothers,
unto your enemies,
unto your equals.
unto your enemies.
Most High just said we're going to be sold unto our enemies, man.
For bondmen and bondwomen,
For bondmen and bondwomen.
and no man shall buy you.
And no man shall buy us, man. Like,
No man shall save you.
yeah, like this is so heavy right here because it's so, like them Hamite nations, they're the ones who sold us, man.
Yeah.
Like we was on the west coast of Africa because we fled persecution in 70 AD and we set up shop down in the west coast of Africa. Them Africans knew who we were and they knew that we were separate from them. So when the so-called white man came and he said, you know what, we need some slaves, man. We try and do some things across the water. He said, you know what, I got somebody for you. And they actually came and they sold us to the so-called white man, man. And the Ishmaelites of the Bible, the so-called Arabs, you understand? They're the ones who made the boats that we came over on, man. That was their craftsmanship, making boats. You understand? So them boats that we came over in slavery, they was made by them Arabs, man. We like to give them a pass. We like to give them a pass and make it seem like they some like they close to us or something, man. Like listen, they played a big part in our slavery as well, man. Like, and they are not going to be let off the hook. They're going to have a punishment to pay as well. Listen, the Lord is going to punish all of these enemies, man.
Yes, sir.
But he said, listen, we're going to be sold into your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. That's slaves, man. Men, women, and child, we're going to be slaves. Like in this, like, you may say, hey, listen, you interpret the Bible the way you interpret. Like, that's what a lot of people like to say.
Because they don't want to face the fact
Come,
of the
like,
truth.
you don't want to face the truth, so you say, you know what? Everyone has their own interpretation, which is a bold-faced lie, man.
Right.
The Lord say, you will be sold into our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you, meaning no one's going to redeem us out of this bondage, man. No one's going to redeem us out of this slavery, out of this misery, out of this torture that we're in, man. You understand? Like, they like to say that we're African Americans. You got black people who fight tooth and nail that we're Africans, you feel me? Where the hell is the African armies that came, you know, when they realized what kind of slavery was happening over here? Where did them where are these African armies that came over and fought for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man? Because trust me, they definitely have African armies. You understand? They going and they eating people and they doing all types of madness over there. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah, I'm just looking at that movie, Tears of the Sun.
yeah. Listen, you can watch, and them movies don't even give you, they don't even give you a glimmer of what's really going on over there. You feel me?
Right.
You talk about savages out, like them, they go hard over there. You feel me? You know, years ago, I brought out the General Butt Naked, that the IUIC was over there. You know, the fake Israelite group IUIC was over there trying to recruit. You see what I'm saying? And he was raising up young boys, and they would go into the streets naked, killing people, and then they eat them and all that nonsense. You feel me? Like, the Most High say, "No man shall redeem you." If we were them people, but certainly they would have sent their army over here to get us back. All they say is now is, "Well, you can come over here and we'll give you land." And man, nonsense. You feel me? We'll go over there and be slaves again. We'll be slaves under another oppressor. You understand?
Yep.
Like the Most High is revealing to us who our enemies is, man. We need to pay attention to it. Like when it comes to each other, we so proud, man. Like we so proud and so arrogant and cocky when it comes to each other. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to the suppressor, we so humble and docile,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir.
We so passive and we want to be agreeable. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's disgusting, man. You see what I'm saying? Like when it comes to you let two brothers or two sisters be going to war, man. They will hold a grudge forever. Every word is under a microscope, you feel me? Well, you said this, you said that, you understand? Well, you did this and you did that. You looked this way, I looked that way. You see what I'm saying? Like everything is under a microscope, man. It's like we don't want to forgive each other, man. But as soon as it comes to this oppressor and what he's done to us, man, and how he continues to murder us, how he continues to put us against each other, that's when we want to get. That's when we want to get docile, man. That's when we want to be forgiving. That's when we want to be understanding. Well, let's hear their side of the story. Damn it, man. Hear each other's side of the story, man. Forgive each other. I mean, we have an enemy out here who's destroying and killing us if we have not noticed, man. Like we still got our Isupk brothers on the border over there, you understand, being murdered. Our children, you understand, being sold into sex slavery still on the border to this day, man. You understand? In the same border in which our kids are being murdered and destroyed, they let them Ukrainians come in with $13 million, man.
Yes, sir.
You understand? It's absolutely disgusting. But yet we hate each other. Yet we hate each other and don't want to put the blame and say that the so-called white man is our enemy, man.
Yes, sir.
Like, how can we not say it? How can we act like he our brother? You understand? When you can take a filthy Ukrainian nation who, in the midst of being bombed, they still find a way to be racist towards black people, man.
Isn't that something?
You take people who have bombs being dropped on their head, and they still find the time to be racist to blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. And this is the people we want to forgive. This is the people we choose to have compassion for. But when it comes to each other, we so damn hardcore. You understand? Everybody got to be heard. You understand? Can't nobody let nothing go. You see what I'm saying? It's absolutely disgusting, man. But the Lord is revealing who our true enemies is today, man. The Lord is revealing who our true enemy is, man. Whether you want to believe it or not, these scriptures, listen, a lot of us, you know, you can say that you don't believe in the Bible all day long, but you're going to believe in them so-called history books, right? You understand? You believe in the so-called white man history books. You know, you got people say, well, the Bible was written by the white man, which it was not. But let's say, for argument's sake, let's say that they had a leg to stand on. The Bible was written by a white man. Every piece of information that they're going to bring up to refute that was written by a white man. Every book that they bring up to refute the Bible was written by a white man. Every bit of history that they bring out and they try to articulate was written by a white man. You see what I'm saying? So on one hand, You can't accept the Bible that was written by a white man, but you can accept everything else by the white man that goes against it. You understand? For the record, the Bible was not written by a white man. King James was a black man, and he translated. He got the top scholars of the land, man, and they translated these scrolls, man. And this is how we got the Holy Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? If this was a white man's book, he would not have told us that he was the devil that the Bible speaks of in it. Like, the Lord is revealing who he is in these scriptures, man.
Right.
But the problem is, we so damn, like the scriptures say, is Israel a homeborn slave? Like, we are homeborn slaves, man. Like, we love our oppressor. That's that Stockholm syndrome, you understand? Like, that person that beats us and that person that abuses us the most, that person we just infatuated with. We love them so much, you understand? They can do no wrong in the outside. That's why you'll have a conversation and you'll say, man, the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And then we'll have our own people say, well, black people got to stop killing black people. If we don't stop killing each other, they not going to, why would they stop killing us? All that nonsense you do. But guess what? You got a lot of white on white crime going on right now. Russia is bombing Ukraine right now. You understand? That's white on white crime, man. But yet you have us on the front lines, raising money for the Ukrainians. We on the front line raising money for the Ukrainians. But then when you go and support a black business, you get mad. You get mad because the chicken box is $2 higher than the Asians, you understand? Like, this is the conditions we're in, man. Like, the Most High just revealed to us. He said, listen, we're going to be sold into our enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, man, and no man shall buy us, you understand? Like, this is just what it is, man. If I could, Bubba Kashar, let me get 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Chapter 2, verse 3.
You follow along with us?
Yeah.
It's about
We'll get to more in scripture, man. Like the Most High is going to reveal to us who our enemies are. Like, and it's to the point where it's though if we don't realize who our real enemy is, it's because we don't want to.
Thessalonians what?
So like 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Yeah, if we don't want to acknowledge who our enemies is, man, according to these scriptures, it's honestly because we don't want to see it, man. You understand? It's because we don't want to look at that person that we work with as an evil devil, man. You understand? Because we befriended people who should be our enemies, and we shunned people who should be our brothers and sisters, man. So because of that, we don't want to believe these scriptures, man. But we say we love God. Yeah.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means.
The scripture say, let no man deceive you by any means. You understand? These so-called leaders out here, they're deceiving us, man. We got to come out of that, man. They say, let no man deceive you by any means. You know what we're saying?
For that day shall not come except there come a falling away first.
Listen, say, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. What day shall not come, man? Like that day that the Most High stands with us, man, he becomes an enemy to our enemies. Like, that day is not going to come, man, except there come a falling away first. You understand? Falling away from what? Like, what do the falling away, like, what do we have to fall away from in order to get the Most High on our side, man?
The world.
We gotta fall away from the world. We gotta fall away from this Christian church. We gotta fall away from this Muslim mosque. We gotta fall away from all this what they call it, Kemet and Egypt towers, y'all like garbage, man. You understand? We got to fall away from all of that nonsense, you understand? Lord?
And the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
They say that man of sin be revealed, man. That man of sin that got to be revealed is the so-called white man, you understand?
Right.
Like, we got to reveal who he is to our people. If we don't reveal it, we're going to continue to be killed by him, man. If we don't reveal who the enemy truly is, you feel me? We're going to continuously look at each other as the enemy, man. No one likes to talk about what the so-called white man has done to us, man. Everybody wants to bring up the here and now and why black people are in these conditions that we're in right now, but no one wants to deal with the real issue. Why are we in these conditions, man? Like, we're in these conditions, man. Like, this, right now, what you see is a product of what they've done yesterday, man. How they've destroyed our homes. How they've come in and murdered our fathers, man. And beat and raped our mothers. You see what I'm saying? Like, what you see right now, like, you see the youth running crazy, running wild and all that, you feel me?
Yes, sir.
And everybody want to talk about the youth, but guess what? That's our fault, man.
Yeah.
You understand? Who the hell was guiding them?
Right.
Yeah.
Who was showing them the right way?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So we got a place to blame with it. We got to reveal who this man of sin is, man. That's why we got to get on the so-called white man and reveal who he is to this earth, man. That's why we got to say that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Because if we don't, we're going to continuously hate each other. And we will never put the blame where the blame belongs, man. We always gonna take up for the oppressor and hate each other. Unless you realize, man, this is just another tactic of the oppressor for us to stay destroyed.
Right.
You understand? You keep going up the show.
Chapter 2 and 4. Who opposes his who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God.
Who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God. Like, this is what he did, man.
Or that is worship.
Or that is worship. Like, you understand? Like, he calls himself a superpower, you understand? He calls himself the superpower on the face of the earth. Like, he exalts himself not only above God's people, like, he exalts himself above us. We're God's people. But he exalts himself down there as if he's God himself, you know?
So that he is God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
It is, man. Like we dealing with a beast that's so wicked and so subtle. You understand that he will exalt himself not only above us, but he's gonna try to exalt himself to where so he can sit in the seat of God down there. You feel me?
That's why we think Jesus is a white man.
Right.
Because he put himself as Christ.
He put himself he made himself Christ.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, if we don't reveal this, how will we ever know? Go ahead.
And that's so powerful, the scripture letting you know, man, this is why so many of us actually don't know that Christ is a black man.
Right.
I know people that study the Bible, call themselves studiers of the Bible, and they know it all Christians, man, and actually don't know that Christ is, still arguing that Christ is not black.
Right. You know, and unfortunately, like, it's so crazy because this is the power of Christianity. You understand?
But he let you know it in the Bible what color he is.
Right.
They don't even. You can read it to them, and they still don't want to admit that he is telling you that he is black.
And have you ever heard this? Like, I've actually heard people say this. Yeah, I don't think he was white, but I think he was something like an olive color. He wasn't. You can't say he's black. You see what I'm saying? Christ was a black man.
Right.
Christ was a brother.
That's right.
You understand? Like, he's a black man who walked the streets just like you and I, man.
That's right.
You understand? Like, the Christian church don't want to teach that because, listen, once you teach that Christ is a black man, all them angels are black, all them disciples are black, You start teaching that, man, and it starts breaking down white supremacy.
Right.
Like we just read how he wants to exalt himself to be God himself, man. How can you exalt yourself to be God himself and you ain't in the right color? You see what I'm saying? Like, and then they'll say, well, color isn't important. Well, if color isn't important, why the hell is he white? And I mean, like, people get mad when you say that Christ is black. Like, people get angry. Like, people will be willing to go to war over the idea that Christ is a black man and not a white man. You understand? Like, that's how heavy white supremacy is. And that's why the Most High is not interested in us being equal to no other nation, man. You understand? Like, how can we be equal to a nation? How can we be equal to a nation, man, as evil as that, and expect to change anything, man? The only way you change something that's evil is to get more power than the evil thing, you feel me? And then change it. So like the whole idea behind equality and just wanting to be a part of and fitting in, it makes absolutely no sense, man, logically, you feel me? If I could, Bubba Kashaw, drop that. Let me get Job 9:24, Bubba Kashaw. Now we gonna get some more in the scriptures, man. Like, if we don't understand who our enemy is by now, like I said, man, it's flat out because we don't want to know it, man. You understand? Like, we got, and we don't want to believe it now is because we got some kind of staple. We got some kind of, there's something we're benefiting from. Job 9:24. There's something that we're benefiting from in this so-called white man's society that we're not willing to give up. So therefore, we don't want to see the truth of who our enemy is, man. Like, that's the only reason a person would say that a so-called white man is not an enemy. You know, they try to put it on, you know, they try to isolate and they try to, well, you know, the Republican Party this and the Democrat Party this.
Yeah.
You know, they try to make all these different distinctions so that they can't say that all of these oppressors are the same, man. Listen, we gonna make it real clear today. The so-called white man, the oppressor, the colonizer, each and every last one of them are the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Yes, sir.
And I'm talking about man, woman, child, baby, all of them, you feel me? There is no difference in them. There is no separation, you understand? That little baby that comes out with them blue eyes and stuff, that is a devil coming out, you understand? Little gunner, you understand? He's on the field and he's learning how to shoot archery at 6. He's shooting them at AK-47s at 7. He's a devil, man. You understand? Like, that so-called white man at the job that's so nice and he's understanding. Your M&Ms of the world, you understand? They grew up in the hood, feel like they got hood credibility and, you know, they've done everything that we done did. Guess what? He is a devil that the Bible speaks of, man.
Right.
That real timid one who talks soft and puts his head down, very nice, and he holds the door for us and lets us get on the elevator first, you know, helps out with lunch from time to time. Guess what? He's a devil, man. You know, that white woman who seems so docile, you understand? Like, she don't even like to hear curse words, you understand? Like, she don't like no type of aggression. It makes her cry, makes her sad, you understand? She is a devil, man. Make no distinction. Don't make no distinction about it, man. It do not matter who they are. They are the devil that the Bible speaks of. Each and every last one of them, man. And we're going to reveal them, man. That, like the scripture just said, the son of perdition. Like, we're going to reveal them, man. None of them get no passes, man. Because you know what? We didn't get no passes.
Right.
Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, we don't get no passes, man. We don't get no passes, but we ready to hand them out to every other nation on the face of the earth. But we won't hand them passes out to each other, man.
Right.
This is a product of being destroyed, man. You got that?
9:24.
Tell them where you at first.
Job 9:20, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
It say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You understand? Like, this is how you know how evil they are, man. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Like, the so-called white man runs this earth, man.
Right.
Like, if you look at every province in this earth, like, the so-called white man has provinces set up in every, or embassies set up in every nation on the face of the earth, man. You go into West Africa, you go into East Africa, you go into South Africa, you go into, those Middle Eastern countries where Ishmael is at. You go into all them nations, and guess what? The so-called white man has embassies set up in all of them, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Because he's running the entire earth. Don't get it twisted. Like, we think that he's just like this here. The so-called white man is the devil across the entire earth, man. They say the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Go ahead.
He covereth the faces of the judge, therefore.
Thereof. He covers
To
the
cover
faces of the
faces
judges
of
thereof.
the judges, therefore. If not, where and who he is.
And say he covered the faces of the judges thereof. Like, who faces have he covered, man? Like, who faces has he covered? Like, who's supposed to be the judge? Like, let's break this down. It say he covered the faces of the judges thereof. That means that there's some judges out here whose faces he's now covered. And the scripture say, if not, where and who is he? You saying, damn, like, who face did he cover?
Right.
You understand? That's what black man. Our face is the ones he's covered, man. We supposed to be the judges in the earth, man. We supposed to be the ones sitting on the benches making decisions, making righteous decisions under the authority of the Most High, man. You understand? Like right now, like one of the most deflating things for a black man to do is to go into that courtroom and receive a judgment by a devil, man.
Yes.
You understand? Like, as a black man, period, for you to have to go into a courtroom and look a judge in his eyes, man, and you know how evil him and his people are, and he sit there and he has this arrogance about him, and you know how evil he is, and he's going to decide a matter for you. He's going to tell you how to resolve a matter, and he's going to tell you as a matter of fact, meaning you're going to do this. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's demeaning, man. Like, we should not be going to him to get justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, man, this is what we got to do. We got to go into the courtroom. You understand? Even though this man is on this bench right here, even though this man on the bench right here, he's covered our faces. You see what I'm saying? And put his own face there. You understand? Like, we know how evil and wicked he is, but we got to go to him, man. Like, we just brought it out. Who else face did he cover? He covered the face of Christ, man, and replaced it with his own. Like, this is the wicked that we're talking about, man. This is the wicked of the earth, man. And it's like, if we can't see this, man, not like I said, man, it's just because we don't want to. We don't want to see the truth of this, man. We don't want to believe that the so-called white man, our oppressor. Like, we don't want to believe that all of them are bad. You see what I'm saying? We don't want to. We want to believe that there's a glimmer of hope for him. You understand?
Right.
We want to give him that benefit of the doubt.
Cause we got good conversations on the job.
Yeah, we talk pleasant on the job, and he gave me a 10-cent raise when he didn't have to. Despite the fact that the cost of living just went up damn near 50%.
Yes.
He give you a 10-cent raise, and we feel like we done came up. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is the wicked that runs the earth, man. And unfortunately, we're the ones, we are the ones being punished. Like, if we can't see this, like I said, flat out, like, I'm trying to find a reason as to why we, as blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, cannot see the fact that the so-called white man is our enemy, man, and that he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. Like, How many years had how many, first of all, they stole this land from our Issacharite brothers, you understand?
Yes.
They stole this land from them. Then they talk about building a wall to keep them out. And the moment the Ukrainians get bombed, I'm going to keep bringing this up to you. The moment the Ukrainians start getting bombed by another white nation, they allow them to come in the same gates.
Right.
They tell us that our people can't come through.
That's right.
And when they come in, they give them $13 billion
Hey.
to establish themselves. It's not good that they gave them refuge, but they gave them a head start on blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. I mean, like, you know, right now Ukraine can start its own society. You understand? They can go and build houses and have their own damn communities right now and be governed to only themselves, you understand, with the money that America just gave them. You understand? Just because of all of this white on white crime, man. But you mean to tell me that an Issacharite who's been working hard, man, sweating and toiling in the sun, doing every job under the sun that don't nobody else want to do, you mean to tell me he's the evil one? That he can't come into America? You understand? The so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
Yes.
Listen, we gotta not only should we know that, we should know that, and we should be able to say that, you understand, and feel nothing. We shouldn't feel no remorse for saying it, you understand?
We should be able to tell the truth to our kids.
Now, we should, like,
That's right.
that's a great point. We should be able to tell the truth to our kids, man. Our kids should know that the so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of, man.
That's right.
You understand? So that they won't be killed and destroyed by him, or beguiled by him, you understand? If I could drop that, let me get, First Ezra, chapter 8 and 85. Brother Kashar. Hey, listen, man. This is the Lord bringing this out to you.
Yes.
First Ezra,
You go it over.
chapter 8 and 85. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them.
Hey, so like, if I could, you starting verse 84, Brother Kashar.
Apocrypha, First Ezra and 84, 8 and 84. Therefore now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons, neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons.
Like the Lord is telling us, man, don't get to marry with them, man. Like we like to seek peace with them, you feel me? We feel like, you know, like a lot of times, like for a black man who made it in this earth, the token of success is getting a white woman, you feel me? You know, a lot of these ball players, a lot of these entertainers, you understand?
It's not all of them. I said, if not all of them.
If not all of them, you understand? Like they go and get a devil, you understand, as their token of success. And sisters do it too, like not to the tune the way brothers do it, but the sisters, y'all do it too. You understand? Like Most High tells us not to do that, man. Most High speaks against that.
Right.
He said, do not give our sons, our daughters to their sons, or take their daughters unto our sons, man. Why is that? Like, a lot of times we feel like, well, we should be free to love whoever we want to love. But listen, when you have an enemy, how can you marry to your enemy, man? Like the scriptures tell us that when we join ourselves to these other nations, they take us and they have us serving their gods, you understand?
Right.
Like they take us from our God and we start serving their gods, man. Like a person who's married to someone, a black man or a black woman that's married to an oppressor, it's so hard for you to really fight for black people because you're going to feel like you're offending your spouse. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like a black man or a black woman cannot truly, like this is, like I understand the psychology of it because How can you believe this Bible and teach your kids this when you got an oppressor right here? So do you serve the Lord, or do you not offend this oppressor that's now your spouse? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you straight up, offend your spouse. You see what I'm saying? And serve the Lord. You see what I'm saying? You married to a heathen and stuff like that, okay, it is what it is. You know, the Lord is against divorce. But at the end of the day, you should be serving the Lord, man. Serve the Lord despite the fact that you have a devil. You understand? Still serve the Lord, man. Like, our people need to come together and stop being so damn cowardly when it comes to these oppressors, man. Because guess what? They want to serve their gods. They want to celebrate Easter. They want to celebrate Halloween. They want to celebrate Christmas and Thanksgiving. You understand? But the moment we want to say we want to celebrate Passover, now it's a problem. Celebrate Passover, man. Right now we're in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you understand? Eat unleavened bread. You understand? Don't let these people be godless, man. You keep going, bro, for sure.
84. Therefore, now shall ye, it's like it. Now shall ye not join, it's like it. 85. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them.
They say, moreover, you should never, never ever, like, we should never seek to have peace with them, man.
Right.
Like, us joining them in marriage and us joining them and trying to be one with them, that's us seeking peace with them, man. We feel like we can get on the same team with them, and we can kind of, like, you know, pretty much put ourselves in a position to fight for what they want us to fight for and be one with them. We believe that that's going to bring unity and equality amongst the races, you understand? It's not. You understand? More than likely, we're going to be the ones to get destroyed out of this union, you understand? We should never seek to have peace with them. You keep going.
On the top again. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong.
That ye may be strong, man. Go ahead.
And eat the good things of the land, and that ye may leave the inheritance of the land unto your children forevermore.
Listen, Most High said that you be strong, man. They say never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong. That's telling us that when we seek to have peace with them, man, we become weak.
Right.
We become soft, man. We become docile, you understand?
Yes, sir.
You ever seen an animal? Like, you ever seen an animal that, you know, tuck his tail? You see an animal start getting watered down, like, you know, you may have a bully breed of pit bulls or something. Next thing you know, they start mating with all these other different breeds, and next thing you know, it becomes a mutt, and it's so damn weak and timid, and tucks his tail, don't want to fight, don't want to bark, just want to get handouts all the time, you feel me?
Yes, sir.
It becomes weak, man. This is what happens when we seek to have peace, man. When we seek to have peace with them, we become weak, man. And timid and soft. You know, scared to speak up for what's right. You know, we become cowards, man. The Lord say, don't seek no peace with them. You understand it? You be strong, man. We the nation of Israel, man. We are the nation of Israel, and that means something. We have a holy lineage, man. Why would we want to be categorized and called by the name of these other nations anyway, man? The Lord say, man, stop seeking, don't seek to have peace with them, you know, that ye may be strong, man, and eat the good things of the land. Now, we don't realize, but what we like, the foods that we eat right now, that, well, you know, you got a lot of people that start to change their diets, not according to the scriptures, but they call themselves conscious, you understand? You know, but the thing is, when we start to eat the good things of the land, these good things of the land are what the Lord told us we could eat, man. You know, the Lord told us we had food that we can and can't eat. When we eat the good things, like we ate the good things of the land at one point in time, you know? As soon as we start
sir.
seeking peace with our oppressor, and we start joining to our oppressor, like the bad things of the land that they eat, that they call delicacies, that's when we started eating, you feel me? Pig's feet, they call it soul food, man. That's what, you know, damn pig feet, man. The damn chitlins. You see what I'm saying? Shrimp and crab, like goddamn, we're not supposed to be eating that nonsense, man. Conch and lobster and all that, you know, garbage, man. We're not supposed to be eating that garbage, man. Like, those things are what the so-called white man call a delicacy. You understand? And when we seek peace with him and sit down at the table with him, he's going to bring all these delicacies that's unclean to us. And guess what? We're going to wind up eating and sinning against our God, man, and becoming weak. You see what I'm saying? Like, we eat the good things of the land, man. What's the good things of the land? Whatever the hell the Most High told us is the good things of the land, what he told us we can eat. You see what I'm saying? Like, vegetables, like, that's a black thing, you feel me? Eating vegetables is black culture. Eating fruits is black culture. You understand? We make it seem like eating those things is white, the so-called white man's culture, you know? To eat spinach and all these different types of fruits and vegetables, you feel me? We act like that's his culture. That's our culture, man. But because we joined ourselves to him, man, we become so damn weak and docile. You see what I'm saying? That, you know, the things of the Lord is what we begin to hate, man. The things of the Lord is what we begin to pass off as other people's culture when it's our culture, man. Any more on that, Brother Michelle?
'86.
Oh, so like real quick. It's saying that you may leave the inheritance of the land unto your children forevermore. You understand? Like, we talk about leaving an inheritance to our children, man. Like, this is a conversation we don't even have amongst each other's, period. You understand? Like, when was the last time we had to talk? When was the last time you heard black people talking about leaving an inheritance to their family, to their kids, man?
Right.
You understand? We don't even think on that level. We're trying to survive, and we're trying to survive the next week. You see what I'm saying? We trying to get the next week.
We worry about life insurance, how we gonna bury it, bro.
Yeah, we worry about life insurance and how we gonna bury the next one of us that passes. That we can't even fathom thinking about an inheritance to pass down to our kids, man.
We don't own nothing, everybody renting.
We don't own nothing, everybody rent. That's right, bro. You see what I'm saying? Like, we don't even think on those terms, man. Inheritance. That means we got something that we can pass down to generations, so we can take care of generations to come after us, man. This is what the Lord is about. This is our culture, man. Inheritance is black culture. You see what I'm saying? Like, we look at inheritance, and what's the first thing you think when you hear of inheritance? Think of the so-called white man, right? Because he passes inheritance down to his peoples, right? His children benefit from the things he's doing today.
Right.
But guess what? This is actually our culture to do those things, man. When we do not seek the peace of these other nations, and we stay strong, and we do what the Lord tells us to do, we pass inheritances down to our children, man. This is what the Lord is telling us. This is black culture to do these things, man. This is why we got to stop seeking the peace of the devil, man. The people that put us in this condition is not the people we should be seeking peace with, man. We need to be seeking peace with the Lord, man. And getting on our knees and begging the Lord to forgive us, man. So we can come back to keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments the way he said to do them, not the way we want to do them.
Right.
This is what we got to understand. We got to come out of this culture, out of this system. We got to come out of the belly of this beast, man. We got to come out of the belly of this beast. Like, we are in the beast right now. You see what I'm saying? You come out by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, man. Clean your head.
We gotta wake up, Israel.
Man,
Yes,
right.
sir.
Wake up, Israel. Kwam Yasha'Allah. That's what we say, man. Rise, Israel. You understand?
Right.
Let's stop laying so damn dormant, man, and being walking mats in these other nations, man. Put our spirit on, man, and get back on the horses we supposed to be on, man. We walking like dogs in the street, man. They walking all over top of us, killing us, destroying us, beating the hell out of our women, our old people, our young people dying. and we still hating each other. Come on, we gotta get better than that, man. Like, it's time we gotta come out of that spirit. You see what I'm saying? Put your strength on, man. Stop seeking to be so damn cool with them. And trying to eat at the table with them, trying to be around them, you feel me? Be around your brothers, man. Come to the Passover.
Right.
Put your feelings aside. Stop being so damn weak and scared, man. And come build with your brothers, man. Same goes for you sisters. Stop being so damn evil towards each other, man. Every little goddamn offense, you feel me? Y'all beefing and y'all going at it, man. Y'all need to put that aside. Y'all need to put that aside, man. Because guess what? If y'all don't love each other, who the hell gonna love you? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You think when these Becky's gonna love you? Think when these Becky's gonna accept you in their group?
No.
You understand? You hear countless of stories how you had one sister, she'd go on vacation with about 10 so-called white women. You understand? And all of the white women make it home but that sister, man. That sister that got chopped up and buried somewhere in a rainforest somewhere. Never to be heard of again. Because we trying to be around them and we seeking peace with them, man. Now we gotta come out of this spirit, man. Hey, listen, you sisters, y'all think that y'all can have these so-called white women and y'all friends? You understand? These so-called Arab women and these East Indian women and y'all friends, they hate you.
Yep.
You understand?
Tell them.
Like, they hate you. They hate your hair. That's why they touch it.
Right.
You understand? That's why they want to feel the texture of your hair. And they talk about your nose and your lips and how thick you is in the hips. You feel me? Here it is. We got sisters working out trying to lose their body. And the so-called white women going and getting plants and getting all these damn surgeries trying to look like her. And our sisters trying to, whiten their skin up. Come on, man.
Shaving their head.
Shaving their head, man. Come on.
Shaving their legs.
Like, it's totally ridiculous.
I don't even want the hairy legs no more.
Yeah.
Or the hairy. They want to shave everything.
Like, our sisters, like the scripture say, sisters were so delicate, man, that the body, their feet wouldn't even touch the floor, man. Like, can you imagine that?
Right.
Like that's how our sisters supposed to be, that delicate, man. That gentle, that soft, and damn, you see what I'm saying? Like, our sisters supposed to be like that, man.
Not running around looking like Mike Tyson's.
Right, that's what you said.
That's what they're doing, man.
Yeah, we run around like, you got sisters right now, man, and, they hate to come out like that, but it is what it is. It's the truth, you feel me? We got sisters around here, they act like they men, man.
Run around like little Mike Tyson's.
Little Mike Tyson's. Running their mouth thinking they can beat men.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like talking reckless, you feel me? You can't take an order.
Quick
You
to
can't say nothing to them without them catching feelings, you see what I'm saying? Come
Quick
on,
to
man.
disrespect a man.
Disrespect a man, like run her mouth and talk crazy, man. But guess what? As soon as that so-called oppressor come on the job and tell them they're gonna do something, they're gonna do it, man.
Yeah.
You understand? They go get a white boy and it's like they become so damn submissive. You like, man, you think she listen? Listen, we gotta come out of that spirit, man. We gotta stop seeking to have peace with these enemies, man. The Most High is breaking down to us who our enemies is. We just gotta listen, man. We gotta listen and hearken diligently to the word of the Most High, man. All right. We get one more scripture, Brother Bashar. We get Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10, Brother Bashar, at the bottom. Listen, man, like the Lord, like that's so beautiful about the Most High, man. Like these records, I don't see how anybody can say that the so-called white man wrote these records, man. Like the Most High is breaking down. Like anybody who ever plays sports and realize that you gotta watch game film and you gotta watch the tactics of your opponent. You understand? Like the Most High just sat down and gave us a game plan against these devils, man. He didn't show us how to conquer him, how to defeat him. He showed us his tactics and how he's gonna come at us, man. All we gotta do is pay attention and listen, man. It ain't like we gotta figure nothing out. It ain't like it's like, we gotta do no damn rocket science to figure out how to defeat this man, you understand? All we gotta do is serve the Lord, and the Lord will do the rest, man.
Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
It say never trust thine enemy, man. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, man. The Lord is saying, listen, I don't care how
shiny
beautiful they look,
yeah,
or how shiny it looks.
pretty, how pretty he looks,
or how pretty it is. Listen, it's like this iron. Like iron is a metal, and when it's new, it looks good. You understand? It looks good. It performs well. Everything's right about it. You feel me? But then you leave it to the elements. You feel me? It rains on it. It snows on it. You got the sun beating on it. You feel me? Like you start to see the rust that comes over this iron. You understand? Then it's not beautiful no more. You see what I'm saying? The Lord is likening this to our oppressor, man. He said, never trust thine enemy. Because as sure as that iron is going to rust it, so is his wickedness going to show, man. Like we think that we can be cool with him. We think that we can be passive with him. You understand?
I think we'll be friends with him.
Think we can be friends with him. Guess what? The Lord is saying, guess what? He's going to show you how wicked he really is, man. You know what I mean? So we got two options. Either you going to listen to the Lord and stay out of the way of danger when it comes to dealing with these devils, or you going to forsake what he's saying. You want to be hurt and punished by what he does to you, man. It's just that simple. Keep going. Look at the show.
11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Like how? Hold on one second. Look at the show. Like the Lord is breaking him down to a T, man. Like you ever see how they come to you and they do like this? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, if I could,
Yeah.
you mind if I just get a word in, and they it seems so humble and so respectful.
Like the Chinese.
Yeah, like
So
real humble, and they playing you. Like that's the thing, they running game.
right.
The Lord is saying, don't let them run game on you, man. No, he can humble himself and come crouching. You understand? That's what the so-called white man does. That's what all of them do. They come so respectful. You understand? They try to put their stature beneath yours to make it feel like you got more power than them. You understand? Keep going over, sir.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away.
Right, here it is. Like the Lord is saying, listen, take good heed, man. Take precaution, man, dealing with this beast, man. And then it'll be like you look through a looking glass. You understand? Like you can see right through him. You can see right through what he's doing. You feel me? And you'll see that he's still a wicked bastard, man. Don't be deceived by this beast, man. This is the same beast, the same spirit that's in him is the same spirit that was in that garden, man. You understand? Don't be deceived and beguiled by that. Put your spirit on, black man, black woman. You understand? And come out of this world, man. Stop seeking to have peace with our enemies, man. And seek to have peace with the Most High and his people, man. Your brothers, your sisters, man.
Yes, sir.
And with that, I want to say shalom. We the Isupk Israelite School University Practical Knowledge, coming straight out of 1 West. And we're going to call up Officer 1000 for Barbara Carr, you understand, for a reading of our security announcement. Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel.
Man,
You are the Israelite School, the University of Practical Knowledge. You are the ISUBK coming out of 1 West, 125th Street, Hall, New York, under Commander General Yohana. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to that brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment, meaning we need to pay our tithes, every 10% of any increase the Lord gives you. You can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 and 8 through 10, meaning 10th in Hebrew, and it's pronounced Ma'asher. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, gives to the Treasury Department or teacher. Pre-funds. Free will offerings for priests. Not mandatory, whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations. Right now we are in the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Remind Akim Akbar to check the social media such as ICBK.com, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube and so on for ICBK events and material. If a brother wants to become a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, pants, shirt, black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we're going to give one color salute to the teacher, and the Israel, Mighty. Mighty Shabbat, Mighty, Rock. How about Shimmy al-Shab?
Yeah, but Shimmy al-Shab.
As we tie, class dismissed.